Hey, so the FA Cup first round proper is upon us now. I'm not able this weekend to watch all the live televised games because there's always the chance of overruns. I won't be able to watch them all in full, and because there's other live sport on that I'm doing match reviews of or reviews of, it's just impossible to do it unless I had multiple monitors. So I do apologise for not being able to cover as much of the FA Cup first round as I would like, as I've done in previous years. The two Rugby League Test matches England played today, both the men's and women's, were on live. Did reviews of both of them. I've also watched New Zealand thump Australia early hours this morning, so I've been awake since 3 a.m. So forgiveness, please. But we did watch the Bromley Blackpool game. Bromley were the home side there in the National League. Blackpool are in League One. Playing surface yet again, non-league club, plastic 3-4G AstroTurf pitch. I will say this, that was a godsend today because of the weather. For those who are watching outside of the UK, watching this, you may follow the English football or European football, soccer to North Americans and Australians. We've had some pretty shitty weather. We've had a lot of rain. When I say a lot of rain, in some parts of the UK with Storm Babette, which was earlier last month, and of course Storm Kieran over the last couple of days, we've had about a month and a half, 2 months worth of rain in about a week and a half. I'm not joking, we've had a lot of rain. If this was a traditional non-league pitch back in the day, in 10 years ago, 5 years ago, this match would have been called off. A lot of the matches would have been called off. It's a godsend that a lot of the non-league clubs, in trying to save cost and save money, have actually installed plastic pitches. Bromley, 16 consecutive attempts to get out the first round since the Second World War. They will be continuing to try not to add to that next season because they've lost 2-0 to Blackpool. Both goals come in the first half. Blackpool adapted to the AstroTurf pitch really well, considering they only had an hour training session last night on the surface after travelling down from the northwest. Blackpool looked very, very good on the counter-attack in the first half. Bromley were just not at the races as the home side, which did surprise me. Capacity crowd, good atmosphere, home team on their preferred playing surface. They did leave themselves exposed. They were very route one in the first half, and that left them exposed. They're not necessarily the quickest defensive side, and Blackpool are very, very good as a team when the ball turns over in transition, turning defence to attack. The first goal, Lavery, the Northern Ireland international, I mean, that counter-attack play is from Dembele winning the ball all the way to his goal in off the bar. Is what, about 15 seconds. They transition from defence to attack really quickly. They move the ball quickly, and that was a great counter-attack goal after just 5 minutes. And you're thinking, okay, Bromley could be in for a very, very long night. The Dembele goal on 28 minutes is a great piece of pass and move and finish. He creates it. He's facing away from goal when he receives the ball. He goes on a short little run, passes the ball off. The centre forward passes it back like a wall pass, is the old-fashioned term, and he hits it low and hard under the keeper. That's a very hard finish from a very tight angle with the keeper coming out. How he's managed to get that underneath the keeper with pace accurately, that is I mean, Celtic must be kicking themselves having let him go to Brest in France. He's on loan, I believe, from Le Havre at the moment for Blackpool for the season. He may end up going to a top European club. This young player, Dembele, he had a lot of pace. I think the one area of his game he's got to work on is the physicality. He can be a bit easily pushed off the ball, it seems. But ball at feet and moving off the ball, fantastic game. And I think Celtic are actually kicking themselves that they let him go, which, you know, and he's ended up at a League One club, and that, I think, sums up where Scottish football's at right now, at the level that Scottish football's at. But I think Celtic will be kicking themselves that they've let a talent like this go for not a lot of money, and he could end up at a bigger club in Europe or in England in the Premier League or Championship, and Celtic will be kicking themselves. But he had a very, very good game. It's his third goal for the club on his season-long loan. Blackpool may sign him permanently at the end of the season. He may end up going to bigger and better things, either on continental Europe or in the UK somewhere else. But fantastic prospect. And the way the first half panned out, Blackpool were the better side. They looked after the ball better. They moved the ball with pace. They were more proactive with the ball. Bromley looked a little bit lethargic to start the game. Second half, however, Bromley were the better side. I think Blackpool, well, they're comfortable at 2-0. didn't quite kill off Bromley. They have missed a sitter right at the end from Cheek. It's a good save, and then he misses what should be basically a tap in. That was on about 87 minutes. I mean, he's the record goal scorer in the National League. If that goes in with the added time of 4 minutes, that could have been a very tasty last 7 minutes. But I will say this: Bromley in the second half really came out the traps. They really pressurised Blackpool. Blackpool were doing a lot of defending, but because they're chasing the game, if another counter-attack like Blackpool proved with their 2 goals in the first half, a quick movement, especially that first goal by Lavery, that could have been, curtains for Bromley. But Bromley really acquitted themselves really well in the second half. It was hard to tell the non-league side from the Football League side in the second half. It was more of an even contest. Bromley really came out and really gave it a good go, and they didn't concede any sloppy goals or too many counter-attacks. They really pushed their defensive line further up the field. It's just a shame they couldn't get that first goal to then put pressure on the away team, which was Blackpool, the league side. But overall, that was a really fun contest to watch. Not going to lie, it was a really fun game to watch. It was played at a good pace with a good intensity. I was surprised that the Blackpool goalkeeper was booked for time wasting after 75 minutes. Now, we have seen a lot of debate around added time in English football this season with some of the lengthy stoppage time games that have had like 10, 15 minutes added on. We only had 4 in the second half. But to start booking a player for time wasting that early, I think that's where Blackpool got their mindset wrong in the second half. They eased off the intensity level, which could have cost them. But overall, they were in control of the game. Once they got that first goal, Bromley looked a bit wobbly. That second goal, you're thinking Bromley could really be on the back end of a hiding here. They didn't quite kill off Bromley, but a professional performance. Dembele, for me, is a standout player, and we'll be watching his career with great interest. I can see him going on to bigger and better things at a higher level. And as I say, Celtic will be kicking themselves for releasing him when he was 16 years old and letting him go, because he's a very talented young prospect who could do really good things in the game. He acquitted himself well. He didn't look like a rookie player. He looked like he'd been 10-year career, really confident with the ball, and very good at tracking back as well. For a young player, he's definitely got the right work ethic. So for me, he was the standout player that really stood out on the pitch this evening. But there we go. It's the first round of the FA Cup. Bromley, unfortunately, couldn't get the win, but very entertaining game, and I hope Bromley do end up as a Football League side at some point. They've got great facilities. Of course, when they end up in the Football League, if and when, that plastic pitch has to come up and turf has to get laid, and this is where some of the Football League clubs in League 2 are struggling financially, and there are some clubs in the non-league who have still got the old grass playing surface, and their upkeep costs money, and with the rain we've had, I am surprised more games haven't been called off this weekend so far, and there's more rain forecast as the weekend goes on into next week. But for me, for now, thank you very much for watching. What did you make of the game? Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.